amongst family at this family reunion weekend. It's been a wonderful weekend where we have rejoined, reunion, re-engaged each other, and just being together, bonded by a rich love that is doubly tight because of two sisters and two brothers. We don't have just one strand, we have two cord strand, which makes for strength. So I'm just glad to be here. And so I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about what Wilhelmina said about encouraging you all, linking our younger generation with our older generation. And when I reflect back on our ancestors and those who came before us, they had a lot to contend with. And they had very little resources to kind of support their way on what they wanted to do. They were in South Carolina, farmers, sharecropper type people, just working. And so some went into Florida. So Uncle Johnny said he wanted to go into Florida because he heard some work was out there, because when he was sharecropping, they was gypping him off of what he loaded up. They wouldn't give him his full money. And he was like, hey, there's got to be a better life. And so he went on down to Florida, and then he found out that racism was about 10 times worse. Then some people went into North Carolina, so that's how a lot of us got here, because there was the factories, the textile business and everything, and so people came up here to North Carolina. We had some family go back and forth to Baltimore and New York to be domestic workers, and so our family did a lot of trying to figure out how can they make better opportunities for themselves. So whether we're talking about our elders or we're talking about now or in the future, two things we're always short of: time and money. Now, you know the saying, money is time and time is money. Both are important. They are important currency. Everybody knows that money is a currency. But what people don't realize is time is a currency, because it's an exchange and it's a flow. And so we have to think about time being a currency, because you have to watch how you spend it. Yes. You have to watch how you spend your time. And it's kind of tricky, because time isn't something that's tangible. So you can pass time, and before you look up, oh, you know that it's flown. You look up, it's five years later. And so you got to watch how you spend your time, just as much as you watch how you spend your money. So we take it for granted. But at the end of the day, the way you spend your time has a lot to do with the value and the meaning that you get out of your life. It's wrapped up in that, how you spend your time. Our elders knew that time was short. They didn't have health care to live long lives, but some did obviously live long lives, but they knew that time was short. They simply just didn't have the luxury or the time or money to do anything but live their lives and work. We have some hard-working elders in here. They just work. And one part of this was they were dedicated to that because they stored their hopes and dreams in us, the younger generation. They envisioned that my child is not going to work in no field. They envisioned that my children will have an education, because they knew and they learned time and time again that knowledge put in action is power. So they wanted us to have better, and they envisioned us to do better things. And so in order to put that knowledge into action, we have to use all of our faculties. We got to use our hands to move those obstacles out of the way. We got to use our feet to get up and get moving. We got to use our hearts, because as the scripture says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Meaning, whatever is in your heart, that's what you're going to speak, and that's going to be how you show up in the world. So it's real important to search your heart as you look to move forward in life. And most importantly, right here on top of your shoulders, our heads. We have to use our minds. It's your mind and your mindset that's either going to stagnate your life or empower your life. Our elders knew how to stay on track because their mindset was focused on being responsible and to ensure that they created a better opportunity for us. Because of what they sacrificed, we now have the benefits of going to school. We have the benefits of traveling the world. We go where we want to go and we do what we want to do. They sacrificed so we wouldn't be mired down in the clay. Anybody ever got their foot stuck in some clay? You can't get it out. You can't get it out. They didn't want us to be mired down in the clay. They wanted us to live our life without limitations, to see that we could do anything we wanted to do and that we were good enough to do it. So to all the young folks, but really to everybody, because it's never too late to grow and to make changes and do whatever it is you decide you want to do with your life. But just know that our ancestors have cleared the path for you. They cleared the way. And if you've fallen down 100 times, get up 101 times. Know that your journey is to gain wisdom and experience, and that happens when you fall. If you don't fail, if you don't fall, you're not learning anything. You're not figuring anything out. So I know we got people in here with all kinds of situations. That's the falling. But you don't have to stay there. You can decide and make the choice to do whatever it is you want to do. So reflect on your experiences. I know we don't like to experience bad things. We don't like to experience failure, but reflect on those, not in anger and not in bitterness, but simply in saying, how do I do better? You got to break out of your shell, get out of your comfort zone. Stop thinking that success is for somebody else, that it ain't for you, that it just can't happen for you. Stop thinking that. Stop thinking you don't deserve to be at the table. If nobody invited you, invite yourself. Amen. Invite yourself to the table. I do it all the time. Nobody asks me sometimes to go to lunch with the boys or whatever, the colleagues. Sometimes I just go on and invite myself. And it be good. Because that's breaking out of your comfort zone. Because sometimes we don't think that we deserve to be in the same space and do what other people do. You can do anything you want to do. So, let me see, I just lost my spot.